Hello and welcome. I am Matt Roddy, and this is the Greater Prescott Podcast, where we talk about, you guessed it, all things Greater Prescott. I am really excited today to introduce to you and interview and let you get to know Rachael Beck. Rachael, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
To put it in context, I've lived a couple years in Prescott, almost two. And because my wife is a musician, we've realized, but not really come to learn a lot about the music culture in the Greater Prescott area. So a couple of the things that you guys are going to learn today is a bit about Rachael's background. You're going to learn about what she does currently. She's also going to speak to the music culture in the Greater Prescott area so that you guys know really, I think, how rich it is.
Oh, it's a hidden gem for sure.
Yes. I love that word, hidden gems. So we are going to start the podcast in a way that I've never done before, and I'm super excited that Rachael is going to play a song. So awesome. Rachael, tell everyone what you're going to play.
Yeah, I'm going to play Let Me Be Low. It's from my new album, Dream All Day, on Spotify and all streaming platforms. I'm Rachael. I play guitar. I go by Rachael Plays Guitar. This is Micah Jean. I know who you are. You don't have to tell me. This is Micah Jean. I'm going to be playing a song called Let Me Be Low off of my album Dream All Day. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. The clouds come over the city. That's how I feel when you're not with me. And all of the shadows on the ground make friends with the darkness all around. Let me be low. The rain fall down around my soul. Let me lose all of my control. Just let me be lonely. Let me be low. The waves crashed over the city, took the power out, everybody left town, only my beating heart was with me. Now all of the water, now it surrounds. If you just let me swim, I swear I won't drown. Won't drown, no, no, no. So let me be lonely, let me be low. The rain fall down around my soul. Let me lose all of my control. Just let me be lonely, let me be low.
Still
me be low, let me be low.
You guys, I hope you enjoyed that song by Rachael. She has one more saved at the end,
yes,
which
I
I'm
do.
really excited about. So, Rachael, tell everyone a little bit about your background. You know, give us 5 or so minutes on maybe born and raised and some of your
Cool.
early life. Yeah.
We might need a part 2 for that.
I
but,
know.
no.
It's funny. It always goes longer.
Yes.
But don't worry.
I was born in Denver, Colorado. I was actually adopted. Then I grew up in, I lived in Iowa for about a year. Grew up in Flagstaff for about 10 years-ish. Came down to Prescott Valley. Went to school for a little bit out here.
Okay.
And then I went to, after I was done with that, I went to Buckeye. Graduated high school in Buckeye, Arizona. Played basketball all throughout high school. Got a scholarship. Came up and played at Yavapai College. And then got a scholarship from there to go play at Oklahoma Panhandle State University.
Is that the real name of that college?
Oklahoma Panhandle State University.
There
Yeah. It's right on the 54 when you're going through the panhandle of Oklahoma.
Okay.
Middle of nowhere, about 2,000 people. So.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
Tell us about that experience.
Oh.
I do not meet many people who
yeah,
can say they've done that.
Yeah. I mean, my number one goal when I was like 10 years old, all I wanted to do was play basketball. That
Okay.
was my entire life.
Yeah.
So I had this dream of playing college ball, and they gave me a scholarship, and it was like I would never in my life, you know, go to live out in the panhandle of Oklahoma. But I was like, if I'm going to go there, I'm going to go for my last 2 years of college and finish it out. And yeah, it was an experience like no other. I wouldn't take it back. I wouldn't do it again. But
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. It was,
Yeah.
I met some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. I still stay in contact with them. It's great. When I'm on the road, I see them on the road, and
Yes.
and they're spread out, many people from different countries, different places, everything. It was beautiful experience, and I love playing college ball, so it was cool.
One of the things I love about doing the podcast is learning more about people. And so I would have bet $1 million that you never played college basketball,
Yeah.
which is just, that's why the podcast is so fun, because you just get to know people and learn things about people.
Yeah. I mean, basketball was my life.
Obviously.
And, you know, and that kind of led me to, like, sports ruled everything for me. And that's how I met some of my best friends and in Prescott Valley and throughout here. And when I was in college and everything. And then I hit a point kind of where I was very late to the music game.
Okay.
I was 21, finishing my degree. I got an English degree. I love to write. And one of my best friends from high school at Bradshaw, he went over to Iraq. He was in the war and everything. And he was a great guitar player. And I would always send him stuff of like, hey, learn this new song and whatever. So he would Skype me once a week and just be like, why don't you just start learning this? And I was like, didn't think about that, bud. So, and I had all this excess energy of when I was done playing ball, I didn't know what to do with myself because that was everything to me. So I just, I moved to Kansas City, lived with my aunt and uncle for a couple years or a year. I don't even know how long, but would talk to him and then he would teach me little things and then I just dove right in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then after that, I went to, came back to Phoenix for a couple years, worked corporate job, did the whole thing, had my degree. So I was like making the money living downtown Phoenix. And
what were you doing?
I worked for, I worked valet through college.
Okay.
But then when I got done, I worked for Enterprise rental car. Great job, everything. But I just decided, I didn't want to sell things that I wasn't passionate about. So I kind of, I got out of that. And then I ended up by some weird circumstance, moving to LA and working for an artist out there in the music industry side of things. So Yeah. And then, the whole time I was writing and whatnot.
Okay.
So.
How long were you out there? And give us just a little more detail on what you were doing, because I think it's going to lend itself to just more context on your story and the direction you're going.
Yeah. I mean, I was out in LA for about, I think, roughly 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did everything from road managing, tour managing.
Okay.
I was a personal assistant. We had a whole merchandising company where I sewed the product, I embroidered the product, I heat pressed it,
Holy cow.
did inventory management, the whole thing. So it was really cool. It was a hands-on experience of everything that was the industry. I was kind of like the liaison between the label and the artist.
Yeah,
kind
totally.
Of thing. So,
holy cow.
yeah, it was it was awesome.
And you're an English major.
English
which is hilarious.
Which, I can write a heck of an email. I'll tell you what.
I bet you can. Are you a creative person? Would you consider yourself that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know who gets an English major who is not necessarily creative.
And you know what's crazy? So when I was kind of telling you that when I was a kid, the only thing I wanted to do was play basketball. Yeah. So when I went to school, they were like, "Hey, you need to pick a major." And I was like,
really?
I was like, all right, well, I don't know what I wanted to do. A lot of my friends were there because they wanted to get good jobs and whatnot. But I was like, I'm just here. I want to bounce a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, well, I like to read and write. So one of my counselors was like, you know what? English. And I was like, dope.
Oh, okay.
I was like, sounds good. Let's do it. So
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love to write and I love to read and I love learning things too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Question. It's a slightly bit of a tangent.
Okay.
I believe that everyone has a creative side, and I also think that many people are just not aware of it. And I think that's partly I'm just now becoming aware of this creative side of me that I think for years, well, I did sports growing up, and I don't know that.
What'd you play?
Soccer.
Okay.
Then golf.
Okay.
And yes, it's not creative, I think, like what I'm thinking. So I'm just curious if you can relate to that.
Absolutely. Okay, and here's the thing, as I was literally watching something today on TikTok where it was, I've said this for years, that basketball, right, is a beautiful sport. If you take out the ball, it's ballet. I mean, you slow it down, you put some music, it's ballet. And I think anything,
interesting.
You look at soccer too. It's like the way that, soccer is it's a slower sport. You know what I mean? Where it's like there's not 100 points being made every.
Correct.
But there's such a magical thing when it's like there's the assist and you can see all these different things working behind the scenes. So I think that in itself, is very artistic and it's a different way to look at
Good point.
art. Yeah.
Totally.
So
it's just a different.
I was never, when I played ball, I was never the person that was like, I can't wait for the game. Like I was the person like I loved figuring out my free throw. That my little routine and, dribbling drills, that was me. I loved it. Man. I love the art of it. I'm
still shocked you played college basketball.
Yeah.
Like, this is hilarious. In a good way. What a great experience.
Yeah.
I would have killed to play college golf, and I was nowhere near. But just if you have the opportunity to play a college sport, not only do you play at a high level, but you also have an opportunity like that very few people have. Yeah. And the things that come along with it, sort of the benefits. Obviously, a lot of challenges.
Yeah, a lot of challenges, but I mean, also at the same time, it opened up my world to so many different things.
That's what I mean.
And so many different people to this day. It's like when, fast forward, we go on tour and everything. It was like, I get to see my friends in Chicago, in New York, in wherever, it was, so cool. It's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. And these people that I may have never ever crossed paths with before, where you're saying it's insane that I play sports. Yeah. The people that I played sports with are like, it's insane that you do music now. Right. So it's very cool. You get to just learn people in that way. Yeah. So
that's what makes the podcast fun. You get to learn about people.
Yeah. Stories are
incredible.
Many
people, they don't have a linear story where they play, like where they worked corporate for enterprise for their whole life. Yes. Most people like me, we kind of do a few different things. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Yep. We've in and out. So yeah, I mean, to kind of sum up, I guess where I'm at now, it was, I did the 5 years in LA. It was amazing. I learned so many different tools and things,
man.
and it was a whole trip.
I bet.
And then, I hit a point where I was like, I don't want to do the business side of that anymore. I love to create, and I want to be indulging in the art of it. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So then tell everyone what you're up to these days.
Yeah. So in October-ish of last year, I had all these songs that I had been working on while I was in LA and while I had been in Phoenix and just back and forth. Yep. And I had been trying to perfect them for a long time, and it was like, I was getting to this point of, do I finish these songs to get them perfect, or do I wrap the little bow on them? And then there was so much more that I wanted to write. And it felt like I couldn't continue to write if I didn't close this chapter. Right. So I made the commitment in October of last year of just like, hey, I have these songs. I'm going to go back to LA and I'm going to get in the studio. I'm going to, it was an incredible ride. It's so crazy how everything has played out since then, because it's the people that I met and the little paths that unraveled themselves for me. Yeah. It was everything that I needed. And I have a producer, his name is Day One, and my buddy Joey, who co-writes a lot of the stuff with me. We just went in and we finished this album Dream All Day, and it was like an unplugged kind of project. Okay. Where it wasn't fully produced, but it was like these songs just needed to, let's tie them off. Yep. And I finished it, and I released that in April. We were supposed to have a big old party for it, but as the world turns.
Yes.
So
COVID, you guys, if you don't know.
if you're not aware.
Yeah. If you watch this in a year, that's what we're referring to.
But it's been also a very I don't want to say humbling experience, because but it's I've committed myself for a very long time to take the world as it comes and just be an observer of it. And something that I learned in college when I was studying all these authors, one of my favorite authors was Jack Kerouac, and the way that he just observed the world. He never wrote with any pretense. It was just the world the way that he sees it. So I kind of committed myself to do the same thing, as like, here's the world through the reflection of how I know how to express it. So so I'm just kind of taking it in. So
you have one album currently.
Yes.
What's going to happen with that album, since it happens that it was released during COVID and things have obviously slowed down? So what are sort of some of your future plans, because those have been stalled, I'd imagine?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost poetic for the way that it happened.
Good point.
Yeah, along this journey, my producer had introduced me to a rapper, Corrupt. Okay. And it was he listened to my stuff and he loved it. And during this whole time, I had this idea of having a different album coming out, and it was called Sunshine, Rain, and Other Weather. Okay. Just I'm obsessed with the seasons. Yeah. And he heard that, and he was just like, we're gonna work on this, And I was like, really, that was awesome. It was, we have all these songs that are ready to go for that particular album. But Dream All Day was something that we just kind of needed to get out. Yes. So we still have Sunshine, Rain, and Other Weather coming soon. Okay. Yeah, I have a song coming out very soon, hopefully, that has a really cool feature on it.
All right.
Yeah. So
can you give us any hints on the feature?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's Crooked Eye. Crooked Eye is the feature who's okay. Yeah, he's I for the longest
genre
time
is that
he's
artist?
He's hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah, he's he's lyrical, everything. It's so I've been so blessed to, like, my music is nothing like hip hop. It's not, but I love hip hop. It's what I grew up on.
I love hip hop.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've said that to a lot of people, and they're like, dude, you're a middle-aged Caucasian guy. I'm like, I know, and I love it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, it was beautiful growing up, like of just getting. My parents listened to country growing up, and then when I hit about 10 years old, I was introduced to the Marshall Mathers LP, and I was like, whoa, I shouldn't be listening to this.
But it is good.
And then I listened to. People always make fun of me. I listened to Mariah Carey, and she got me into hip hop because she was introducing Old Dirty Bastard, and she was putting it on hip hop beats, and Bone Thugs and Harmony got on her stuff, and it completely shifted my world. So for me to be able to work with
that's awesome.
These legendary artists, I'm just like, I love the hip hop game.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm such a fan. So
good deal.
Yeah. So that brings me about right here.
Okay. So over the next 6 months, then are you gonna drop more than just one song? Like you'll start to trickle some things out from
Sunshine, Rain, and Other Weather?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. I have been working on another side project as well, though, with the Prescott.
Most creative people have.
I gotta have
projects galore.
I gotta have tabs, tabs on tabs on tabs.
Good point.
Open. So, being back in Prescott for COVID and everything, we have the studio over here, and we talk about how great the music scene is out here. I've been so blessed to be welcomed and with open arms. It blows my mind. So, at Raven Sound Studios, I've been working with a few of the local artists, and we've been creating kind of a few tracks where, I'm thinking another EP's coming maybe before
Sweet
Sunshine, Rain, and Other Weather. Okay. So yeah, I've been writing like crazy, and like I said, I've been working with Drew Hall, Candace Devine, Steffi Lee Griffin. There's so many people out here that are just. I'm like, I have to just create. So yeah.
They're look from the outside in as I'm not a musician, although I love music.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a component for a musician to try to at least create a lot of music, whether or not they actually put it out or not. Because my guess is musicians' heads are just going. They're always churning through stuff. And you actually spoke to it. So you had a bunch of songs, and you're like, I got to perfect these puppies. Actually, probably the better thing to do is just get those things out so you can, like you said, work on the next thing and then the next thing. Can you speak to the challenge with trying to make something perfect versus getting it to a certain point and being like, okay, on to the next song, on to the next song. There just seems to be a need for getting more out there for things to really get going.
Yeah, I mean, expression, like that's what we live for. It's there was this quote, I don't know who said it, but it's like, don't let great be the enemy of good, or good be the. I don't know how it goes.
Don't let great
be the enemy
of good. It's like this idea that it's got to be perfect,
and
before I can actually
evolve. It's like it's so crazy. And speaking of hip hop, one of my favorite rappers is Atmosphere. I don't know if you've listened to him, but Atmosphere, he has this one very poignant lyric that it really kind of just, when he said it, it really hit me. I think we were on the road when this came out, but it said, you got to write your way through. And it was just like, I was like, I feel that. And it's like, who do I think I am trying to perfect this same song that's been circulating in my head? It's like, I want to get on to the next thing, because if I don't do that, then I'm going to go crazy. Yeah. Like I got too many thoughts in my brain. Totally. So it's just, I'm constantly writing, and I've always said like I said, I'm obsessed with the seasons. And I think that there's so many seasons for writing or so many seasons for music. Like there's a season where you write. There's a season where you live your life and just experience things and get those inspirations. There's a season where you record. That's a whole different thing. There's a season where you play out live. So it's like you have to, if you want to be a studio musician and you just sit behind the mic all day and just are trying to get this thing perfect, it's like people are going to see straight through that. Yep. So it's like you got to experience things. There's a balance. Totally. My balance is all over the place, so it's like an EKG with a panic attack.
You speak to this idea before I started the podcast. This was not something I had the thought of this months and months and months ago, but it took forever because I'm thinking I need to get it perfect. Yeah, right? I need to figure out what I'm gonna do. Well, you never know what you're gonna do until you actually do it, and then you iterate, and then you do it. And then you iterate.
And that was one of the biggest things that I learned in LA, no matter how things went out there. It was like the artist that I was working for really was just like, she would get an idea. Here's the action steps. Here's what we're doing. We're releasing now. And it was like, oh, like that was new to me, because I'm a very like let me get this perfect. Let me,
Yes.
let me sit in the gym. I was, let me sit in the gym and make 10 free throws in a row. And if I don't do that, then I'm going to start over and I'm going to start over and then I'm a failure. So it was like, it's very just cut it off, decompartmentalize and go. Or compartmentalize. I don't know what I'm trying to say. English major.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So
it's hard for most people.
and then you get discouraged and
Totally.
there's we're on social media culture. It's a whole thing. I could go off on an entirely different tangent.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to talk about that a little bit because I think musicians, maybe more so than most other types of people, have an enormous potential on social media because literally you can pick up your phone and post a song. It wasn't that many years ago that the gateway to releasing a song was being part of a big label name, or like there was a gatekeeper and there were about 3 gates that you had to go through that.
You have the A&R,
and now
you have the publicist, you have all this stuff, and now it's literally
you're all of those things.
Social media changed my life. Social media is what introduced me to this artist, and then I got out to LA and then did the business thing and did this whole thing. And
it's how we met.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Very common.
Yeah, and but the thing is though, is it can become so oversaturated so quickly, and you have to, what is it? Like John Mayer is my favorite guitar player, right? And my favorite musician ever. And he says something so brilliant that there's a little gnat going around. That he says, songwriters overwrite, guitar players overplay, singers oversing.
Okay.
So I really took that to heart because my vocal range is from here to here.
Okay.
I'm not Mariah Carey. I love Mariah Carey.
Right.
I am not Mariah Carey. I'm not John Mayer on the guitar. I'm not Amy Winehouse with the whatever, it's like, so it's like you have to very much stick to what you do and dive into what that is, because then it gives people permission to do what they do.
Yep.
And so on social media, there's a lot of people that are there's guitar players galore, right? Where they're just trying to shred away. And it's like, cool story, bro. It's like,
but
it's like, if dive into what you do and stop trying to impress people. And that's the most beautiful thing about the arts. And when you talk about Instagram or whatever, it gives you the creativity and the space to do that. So, yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
You talked about it just a little, but I would like you to talk more about the music culture here in the greater Prescott area.
The music culture out here is life. Like I said, I'm very blessed to have been accepted into it. And when I first came back, the first time in 2017, I had met Micah Jean.
Okay.
And then Micah Jean introduced me to Kaylina Martin, to Dennis Messenger, to Drew Hall, to all these people. And I was just surrounded. It was like I was in LA, right?
Yeah.
And it was like I was going to 300 shows.
Oh, yeah.
In a couple of years. It was whatever. And one day I walked into an open mic at the Birdcage.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I haven't felt this all these shows in LA. Yeah. I was like, this is special. Yeah. Some of the greatest musicians I've ever seen. And I don't just throw that out there. And I was just like, and then I was going to do a song and they saw me do my first song. They're like, oh, do you want a bass player for this? Do you want this? And it was like, they're getting up on stage with me. And then I'm just like, whoa. I was like, this is
not what you expected.
Yeah. And it's just, since then I went out to LA for another couple of years and then I came back and it was in Phoenix, and I have really good people out in Phoenix too. But up here, it's just this very rich environment of musicians, and there's just so much soul here. So it's it's incredible, and so many stories and whatnot. So like I said, I'm extremely blessed, and I do not take it lightly that they took me in with open arms. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think they are like that for most people? I mean, is it an accepting community to bring musicians into?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's very. Don't. My letter curse.
Yeah.
Don't bullshit them.
Yeah.
Don't bullshit them.
Be real.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to see straight through you. It's like, I wear sweatpants half the places I go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I put on my eyeliner, I wear sweatpants, I go out.
Yeah.
And they got me. You know, it wasn't like LA where it was like, oh, you gotta, you know, and no shade on LA, but it was like, it was like out here, it's just cool. You're going to be real with us. We don't care.
Right.
We don't care who you're seeing with. We don't care what your cloud is. We don't care nothing. It's like, yeah. So I think, you know, as long I've brought many musicians from the Phoenix area up here. And I've told my producer in LA, I was like, I introduce them all the time because I'm like, you don't understand how rich this culture is up here that nobody knows about. And it's like, you want to keep it this little secret thing, but at the same time, it's like, I want to share it with the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I've been blessed in my own right to experience a lot of things that a lot of people haven't been able to. And it's like, I want to mesh these worlds.
Absolutely.
So
well said.
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head. And what makes this podcast enjoyable is that people can be real. Yeah. Like that's why I like doing this. Yeah. I get to learn about the real Rachael Beck. And I'm dead serious. Because you can go meet a lot of people and they're just kind of fake.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's what I like about your podcast too, is it's like I've done a bunch of interviews, right? Like nothing crazy, whatever, but it's like,
no, you've done enough to
see through the stuff.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's like, if you're going to be real with me and you're going to put forth the time and it's like, you're starting this thing, it's like, I want to support fully. Yeah. And, you know, if you've been here for a couple of years and you want to know more about Prescott and you want to give a voice to that, that's dope. Yeah. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll keep being real.
Cool.
Because that's my goal.
You too, yeah.
And it's, I will absolutely say that I struggle with it. I mean, because I want people to see me in a certain light. Absolutely. Like, this is a very real conversation. That is like, oh man, I need to remember to be humble and be me. Yeah, constantly. I mean, that's half the battle. Is like, you have to, what are you dealing with on a daily basis where it's like, that's why I'm telling you, I love this town so much because it's like they don't let me just skate by. They're like, hey, what's up with you? Yeah. What are you going through? And, you know, not what can I get from you? What can you do for me? What can we exchange? You know? No, it's very much opposite. Yeah. How can I help you? That's what I love. The Birdcage too is like when they have that, their t-shirts say like, be nice or leave. And I'm like, that's some real shit. Enough said. Like, mic drop. It's like, all right, cool. Like that place has always been good to me. Cool. So if people want to learn more about the music scene in this area, what events can they go to? Who can they contact? Like, just how can they learn more and I think get into it? Yeah. Whether they play or simply listen. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking to be involved in the Prescott art scene at any cost, just, I mean, be a member of the community. Do your research. COVID has made things a little weird, but there's an open mic going on at the Birdcage. There's an open mic going on at the Attic, which the Attic is a phenomenal spot. So Jamie and Pete. To go there. Yeah, I have to introduce you to them because they're brilliant. They're brilliant. That's one of my favorite spots. At Cuppers, they're doing an open mic now too. It's kind of like a country thing. There's just be in the scene, be a member and be a fan. Yeah. I'm a fan of all of my friends. Right? That's the dopest thing in the world. It's like when they're like, hey, I want to play a song with you. So that's great. I love that terminology. I feel like to a certain extent, everyone who I've had on the podcast, I'm a fan of. Like, there's something, but it takes getting in the game. Period. You want to be in the arts, surround yourself with artists. Get in there. Yep. Period. And be humble, man. I'm constantly learning. Yep. I am always like, there's never a point where I'm like, oh, you can't be on this song with me, because it's like, no, I want you. How do I include you more? How do I do this? Amen. Like, it's. Yep. When I started this podcast, I committed to having, essentially, if the guest across from me was not known, that would never stop me from interviewing someone. Like, I would, the point of the whole podcast is just to bring exposure to the greater Prescott area and the people, places, and things in it. It doesn't matter if you're popular or not. Yeah, clout's an LA thing. Like I said. And it's a fake thing. Yeah. To boot.
Yeah, everybody has a story if you're willing to listen.
That's it.
So
that's why I like the podcast.
If you can dive in, man, it's brilliant. And the people out here are, it's crazy times. It is crazy times.
It is.
But there is so much rich culture and love in this city that for quarantine, for anything, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, it's my safe space.
Yeah. LA does not sound like an enjoyable place to be during this whole thing.
Oh man. it served its purpose for me, but
of course. No, of course.
I'm happy to be next to the lakes and
yes.
and the mountains and all that stuff. Yep. So
as we get closer to wrapping up, I want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite people, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yes.
And while it may not have anything, he's not a musician. Gary Vaynerchuk is essentially he owns an ad agency that's got locations, 5 or 6 locations around the world.
What is his official job title? What is he?
CEO of Vayner Media.
Of life?
Yeah. Gary Vaynerchuk's the reason I'm doing the podcast.
That's awesome.
He recommended if you want to bring value to people, you go do a podcast. So here I am. And then you said you know of him and really like him. So let's just go back and forth a little bit. What is it about Gary V that you enjoy?
I mean, his passion and his passion and his, I was always taught when I was a kid, work hard at all costs, playing sports. Yeah. We bring that back up. It's like sacrifice your body, do the most, But what they didn't teach me was what the other side of that was. And so when I first listened to Gary V, I didn't like him because I was just like, oh, the hustle hard culture and don't sleep and whatever. It was like, oh God, I've heard it all before and I'm just kind of tired. You hit a certain age and you're just like, all right, bro, I get it. We work really hard.
Yeah.
What he insists upon is that work hard culture, but work hard for what you want to do and dive into what you want to do. And, you don't, what he says is like one of the most recent things it was, he wants to own the New York Jets.
Yes. That's
He's
his
like,
end
not
game.
Everybody wants to own the New York Jets. So be painfully honest with yourself. I think a lot of times in our culture, we stress that success is everything.
Oh.
And what is success, right?
I was going to say, let's go. The S word, I don't even like to throw it around.
Because it's like, okay, well, I can get this many followers.
Usually it has to do with money.
Yeah. Money, followers, status, clout. Yeah. And where he really divided it for me was just like, what is it for you? You take all that out. What is it for you? Yeah. And that made all the difference to me in the world. Yeah. And that's why I listen to him. And because I had this like old Italian coach when I was a kid playing ball, and it was like I didn't even like the practices with him, but the talks afterwards were just so inspiring of just like, this is what's your why?
Yeah.
And I feel like Gary V, and he pushes that a lot. So
totally.
Yeah. What do you like about him? What's your...
I am so glad you asked. And I oftentimes sit across the microphone like, oh my God, what do I say if they ask me something? What would I say? So number one, I love that Gary V is he's a business owner operator.
Okay.
So he is in the thick of it. He is also on the front line. He owns an ad agency. So when it comes to marketing, he is doing for Fortune 500 companies what works today. And it's probably going to change tomorrow because social media changes, and he will change tomorrow, and he'll change the next day.
He adapts.
And then, even better, he comes and tells us on his YouTube material or wherever he puts out content what exactly you should go do. Mm-hmm. He doesn't hold anything back.
Yeah.
You literally don't have to pay the man a dime for anything.
He's not afraid about his secrets being leaked. I love that.
No.
That's a huge thing.
Because he's very on it, or he's very reasonable, meaning the information that he gives to people, 98% of people won't do it anyways.
Yeah.
And it's totally true.
Yeah. And, on that point, to piggyback off of that, when you speak of the music industry or whatnot, it's I've met so many artists where they're just like, I don't want to share my producer with anybody. Of course not. I don't want to share my secrets. I don't want to share my Pro Tools presets. And it's like somebody like that is sharing he's laid it all out on the table, and he's like, you get it all because I know I can do me and I'm going to succeed and we can do this together.
That's it.
And it's like, that for me changed my life too, because it was like, here's my song And I got scared for a while putting it on Instagram because I was like, somebody's going to steal it. Somebody's going to do this. People have warned me. Make sure you get with this and da-da-da. Like, copyright your stuff. And it's like, nobody could do me like I could do me.
That's it.
And it was like,
that's it.
That's so reassuring.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, keep going.
Yeah.
Gary Vee's dope.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you've also benefited from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the end of the day, that's what he's all about, is giving things that will help others.
Yeah, little nuggets along the way.
Yeah. His only tiny little nuggets is he owns a wine business, so very few and far between he'll say, hey, and if you like wine, go to Empathy Wines and buy some wine.
Yeah, but I need to get some of his wine. I still have it.
Yeah. And you want to, because he's already given you so much.
Yeah.
It's not like he's just not a sales.
Yeah, and he's not really selling anything.
He's not. That's the funny part.
It's like, how are you making money, my dude?
That's
it's like, but he's making a ton of it, so.
Because his company has got like over 1,000 employees now,
and Heike, even if he makes the money to own the New York Jets, I don't think he's gonna own them. I think he loves the pursuit. He just wants to be in the game for being in the game. I don't know if he'll buy them. You think he'll buy them?
Well, he'll try as hard as he can, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
so?
like ever since he was a baby, like he's a New York Jets wacko. Fanatic. He's a fanatic.
I just don't know if I think he loves the chase more than he loves that, and some people just.
And he loves the process.
Yeah.
He's long term, so he's always about patience.
Yeah.
Hey, Rachel, be patient. Just keep putting music out. Just don't get stuck in this like I need to get rich quick, because that's not how
love
it
your
works.
process.
Yeah.
Be in it.
Enjoy the process.
Yeah. If you don't love your process, I mean, music. It's so crazy because the gigs out here, or the gigs in Arizona or whatever, when you're a gigging musician, it's a 3-hour gig, but you're doing you got to do it. You got to be there an hour before, an hour after, and then the work that goes into practicing for it. It's like that's a lot of unpaid labor. Time. So it's like if you don't love it, what the heck are you doing? Go work corporate.
Yep.
So,
and to end it with the Gary Vee, that's it. He says, go do what you love.
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely.
Because you'll enjoy life so much more, and that's really powerful.
Yeah.
Really powerful.
Yeah, there's no
Give us a little bit about what you like about the greater Prescott area aside from the rich music culture.
Yeah, the weather right now, it's monsoon season coming up. It's beautiful. The scenery is just breathtaking. The forests, the people, the local businesses. Yep. There's the Raven Cafe, there's Roses, there's the Haunted Kitchen that just opened. There's so many. Just I love it. And all these businesses are mom and pops, so you get to know them.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you just feel like you just feel welcome here. It's like that little corny sign, that little corny thing of like everybody's hometown. It's like, nah, it's some real shit. Like
it is. I agree, it's corny, but it's true.
I'm like I feel you. And then you start, you feel a little bit of pride on your shoulders when you say like, hey, I live in Prescott, so. Yeah, and the weather. I mean, sheesh.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It's a little hot right now, but.
All right. Rapid fire questions.
Cool, let's do it.
Rachel, what is your favorite thing about Greater Prescott?
The atmosphere.
What's your favorite restaurant in Greater Prescott?
The Raven. What
is the top thing on your Prescott bucket list that you want to do?
Oh man, I've rock climbed now. I've kayaked.
Cool.
I don't know.
Okay.
I got nothing.
All right, you have something to work on.
Maybe a bucket list would be like doing a flight with one of the people at Embry-Riddle, but I don't even know why I say that. I'm scared of heights, but I guess it's on my bucket list now.
I really want to go up in a helicopter just around the area to get a sense
that
of
would be
the
beautiful.
topography.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So
I would need
here.
like 3 Xanax though, because I am so terrified of heights.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Who, I think you already said it, who's your favorite all-time artist?
I have 3.
Go for it.
John Mayer, Mariah Carey, and Amy Winehouse. And Mac Miller, 4.
Okay. What are 3 words to describe living in Greater Prescott?
Culture, music, vibes.
If you weren't a musician, then what would you be doing?
Writing.
And what's your favorite summer activity in Greater Prescott?
Not a huge fan of summer, to be honest, but
what's your favorite
activity
in whatever season that you enjoy the most?
Watching snowfall. Yeah, honestly, going to a bar and watching snowfall.
Beautiful.
That's it. Yeah.
It's so peaceful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
You guys, I hope that you enjoyed learning about Rachael and learning about the music culture. I know I did, and I'm excited to learn more about it.
Oh, there's so much.
And just get to know it and enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, I will introduce you to all the peeps.
I look forward to it.
Cool.
Half the people you mentioned, I'm like, I've already thought about having them on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, I have so many people. I want to bring you to the studio. I want to do everything.
The studio is way up on that list.
And we have so many cool things coming up there. So
cool. Well, I'm excited to learn more. Tell people how they can get in touch with you.
I'm on all social medias. Instagram, it's Rachael Plays Guitar. Facebook, Rachael Plays Guitar. On Twitter, it's Rach Plays Guitar. I'm on all streaming platforms. YouTube, Rachael Plays Guitar. Okay. Subscribe, all that stuff. So, yeah.
How can one acquire your album?
It's currently, I don't have any physical copies just yet. But it's all on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, anywhere you can stream. Okay. So.
And when can people expect the next album? Ballpark.
I would say let's give it a couple months. Yeah. A couple months. I think, we'll be ready. So
awesome. You guys, please follow Rachael. It's just fun following musicians because y'all are so creative.
It's because we're crazy.
Well, that works because it's really fun. So you guys, thank you very much for watching. And as we close, Rachael, tell them how we're closing.
Oh, I'm going to do one more song for you. This is an older song, but I have to play every time I come to Prescott because everybody always knows the words because that was the one that I always played. This is Better.
Awesome. Enjoy, you guys.
Thanks. Alrighty. I'm Rachael Plays Guitar. This next song is called Better. This is Micah Jean, and we're going to perform for you. Ain't got nothing left but these dead-end dreams. I ain't got nothing else that'll make my heart bleed. I'm pounding my feet to the pavement every day. Been working so hard, yeah, just to pave my own way. But I don't wanna be alone tonight. Say I ain't really thinking about what's right. Say I don't wanna be alone tonight. I couldn't care less about what's right. And we all say we wanna do better, yeah. We all say we wanna do better, yeah. We all say we wanna do better, yeah. But when will we learn to do better? I'm trying to let go of my mother's sins. I'm trying to let go my father's hand. Oh, been walking this road for so long now, I get so tired. My heart's been heavy for a while now, still running from the fire. But I don't wanna be alone tonight. Say I ain't really thinking about what's right. Say I don't wanna be alone tonight. I couldn't care less about what's right. And we all say we wanna do better, yeah. Let's go, Micah Jean. I don't wanna be alone tonight. So I ain't really thinking about what's right. No, I don't wanna be alone tonight. No. I couldn't care less about what's right. That shaker. Thank you. I don't know who I'm saying thank you to, but thank you, everybody. Thank you. Oh, dope. Thank you, guys. Cool. All right.